Andy, I ain't gonna never get all this stuff in my head. Ain't no use to talk about it.
Now, wait a minute, Amos. All you has got to do is to remember everything that you're supposed to remember, and then you has got it.
Now, you wait a minute. Let me tell you something. We is in the taxi cab business, and if I've got to waste all my time fooling with this here book you got, I ain't gonna have no time to drive the taxi cab.
You know, though, Amos, that you is the swordfish, and I is the whale, and when we gives the initiation, we has got to know this stuff without looking in the book.
Well, read me what I'm supposed to remember.
Now, listen, clear out your head.
Do what's in my head?
Get everything out your head but this, and when you get this in your head, keep it in there. Is you ready?
What is you gonna read me now?
This here is what you're supposed to remember.
This here is the stuff for the swordfish, huh?
Yeah, and that's what you is.
Well, go ahead and read it to me. I'll listen.
All right, now here's the first part. I is the swordfish. Now you can't miss that, cause that's what you is. Now that's the first thing you say. I is the swordfish.
I is the swordfish.
That's right.
Now what's the next thing I say?
The next thing you say is, the swordfish learns you to remember that you is a brother, and all brothers must pay their dues.
Wait a minute now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Let me see that now.
Here it is.
The swordfish learned you to remember that you is a brother, and all brothers must pay your dues. And I ain't gonna never get all this stuff in my head, you know it?
Now, you got that, ain't you?
I done heard it, but I ain't got it.
Listen, Amos. Play like you ain't dumb.
Well, go ahead, read me some more.
Then you say, brother, before you leave my chair, I must tell you some of the secrets of the lodge.
That's what I'm supposed to say, huh?
Yeah, now you were supposed to give him the password. But we can't say the password outside of the lodge hall.
Well, what is the password?
I can't tell you that till we get in the lodge hall.
This here is a mess, ain't it?
Then you say to the brother, you must give the password when you is in Distress. S.
You must give the password when you is where?
Listen, Amos, if you're going to argue about this thing, you ain't never going to get it in your head.
Well, what else does I gotta say?
Then you say, remember, brother, that you must live right, do right, and act right, and if you don't, you ain't right.
Now let me see if I can get the sense of that thing. You gotta do right and everything else. If you don't, you is wrong.
No. Now listen, Amos. The only way you is ever going to get this stuff into your head is to have the book right in front of you. And then you won't be able to read it then if you got it right in front of you.
Well, why is I gotta tell all this stuff?
Amos, when a brother gets initiated, he is blindfolded, and we has got to learn him the rules of the lodge when he come in. And that's why you has got to say all this.
Well, why can't I read it out the book then if the brother is blindfolded? He won't know why I was reading.
We ain't got but one book. This here's the only book we got.
Well, now listen, Andy. I don't mind doing some work in this lodge hall, but I got something else besides remembering all this stuff.
But listen, you has been elected, and you got to learn this stuff.
Yeah? Here's what I done figured out.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. With that egg-shaped head you got, you can't figure nothing, Amos. Sit down here now and listen to me.
All right. Well, tell me this, Andy. What anybody want to join the lodge for?
Amos, you don't mean to say that you don't know why people join the lodge.
Well, if they had some place they could go and have a good time, that's all right. But what they want to join the Mystic Knights of the Sea for?
Well, in the first place, what is that you ask me?
I say, what do anybody want to join this lodge for in the first place?
Well, Amos, that's easy. You see, the Mystic Knights of the Sea is a lodge that,
We don't get no insurance from it.
well, that's all right about the insurance. That ain't the reason they join us.
Well, how come to join us if they don't get no insurance?
Well, I'll tell you, Amos. The reason the brothers joined the lodge is so the brothers can, Amos, you asked some of the dumbest questions I done ever heard of.
Well, answer the question. Tell me why to join. What good can they get out of it?
Well, if they is crazy enough to join, let them join. That's how I figure it. Why did you join the lodge?
Well, I joined it 'cause you joined it.
Well, that's why I joined it. 'Cause you joined it.
Then we is both crazy.
All right, Amos. Here we is. I is the whale and you is the swordfish. And we is arguing.
Another thing I want to tell you. If you was going to let the kingfish sign your name to checks, then you ain't going to know where the money is at no time.
Well, the Kingfish told me that the officers would get 10% of something.
10% of what?
Whatever the Kingfish has got.
Well, how much is 10%?
There you go again. You can count up to 5, and after you get past 5, you don't know nothing. 10% is twice 5%.
Well, how much is it?
Well, Amos, I figures this. If we get 10%, we know it's something. And that's better than no percent.
Well, how you figure 10% though?
The first thing you gotta know is how much the percent is. Then after you find that out, you figure 10.
10 what?
Plain 10.
Well, how do you figure it and how do we get it? How do we come out of this here thing?
Well, say the lodge took in $50.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got $50 in the lodge. There it is, laying in the bank.
It ain't gonna lay there long if the kingfish know we got it though.
Well, the Kingfish can't check it out.
He gonna find some way of getting it out there though. Now wait a minute now. Now how much has we got in the bank right now?
Well, now, since the meeting, some of the brothers has unpaid their dues. We has got $65 in the bank right now.
We got $65. Well now tell me this and kids. Now when we figure this here percent bill.
Yeah, wait a minute, there's somebody at the door. Come in, come in.
Well, hello there, Kingfish.
Hello, Kingfish.
How is you?
All right, it's all right.
I'm all right too,
How is
Kingfish.
everything, Kingfish?
Well, something is wrong, boy. Something is wrong.
Oh,
What is the matter now?
Yeah, go ahead, explain it to us. What's the matter?
Well, boys, I've just been down to the bank, and you know that we had $65 in the bank.
Yeah, we had $65, that's right. We still got it, ain't we?
Well, let me tell you what the man down at the bank has told me. I went down there when the man called me up to see what the matter was, and when I got down to the bank, the man at the bank told me that we was $2.50 overdrawn.
Well, how in the world did that happen?
Yeah, how come we overdraw?
Well, boys, that's the funny part. Andy, somebody has been signing your name to checks, and according to the bank, the whale has done checked out $67.50.
The whale has done checked out what? Wait a minute here.
Andy ain't signed no check.
No, sir.
Boy, somebody is doing some dirty work.
Well, I ain't signed no check.
Over!